We are here on NBA 2K25 and it's time to do my first rebuild of this year's 2K cycle, and today we are going to be taking control of the San Antonio Spurs. Something new in 2K this year, there's a farewell tour. Chris Paul is going to retire at the end of the year, so we're going to opt to give him a farewell tour at the end of the 2025 season. And obviously we're going to be building around Victor Wembanyama, who's a 92 overall in NBA 2K25 at 20 years old. I love what the Spurs did this offseason, picking up Chris Paul, who's going to be a veteran point guard, be a leader for this team, and get the young guys involved. But there's a chance if we're not performing well at the trade deadline, he's going to get traded. Devin Vassell improved a lot from year 3 to year 4 last year. The efficiency looked good, the volume looked good. Let's see if he can carry that momentum over to year number 5. I would say Keldon Johnson took a little bit of a step back since the 2022 season. It's been kind of rocky since then. Inefficient scoring. He can put the ball in the hoop, but sometimes will it be resulting to winning basketball? We'll see. You got Zach Collins, who's not on the greatest contract in the world. He's making a decent amount of money. Trey Jones, a nice young point guard that could be a final year here. We'll see if he's going to be the point guard long term. They picked up Harrison Barnes this offseason, getting a first round pick down the line from the Sacramento Kings. In the DeMar DeRozan 3-team trade, you have Jeremy Sohan, who was the 9th overall pick in the 2022 draft. I think improved a decent amount from year 1 to year number 2. Malachi Branham, also from that draft class as well. I think it'd still be a good bench scorer for this team. You have Julian Champagnie, honestly on a good value contract, still just 23 years old. You got rookie number 4 overall pick Stephon Castle, who's listed as a shooting guard, but he could definitely be the long-term point guard. Blake Wesley as well, a former first-round pick. We'll see what we could do there. So this is what the rotation is going to look like for the 2025 season. We got Chris Paul and Devin Vassell in the backcourt. We have Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sohan as the forwards, and then Wemby obviously at the 5, with a bench unit of Harrison Barnes, Malachi Branham, Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and Stephon Castle. They also drafted Harrison Ingram out of UNC in the 2nd round. He could definitely be a rotational player at one point for us as well. And we get blown out to start off the 2025 season. We lose 112-95 to the Dallas Mavericks. Wemby had 23 points and 11 rebounds in this game. But Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving combined for 62 points. We got offered a first-round pick and Cody Zeller for Chris Paul. Good value there, and I think, yeah, if we're not even in the play-in tournament discussion, Chris Paul is going to get moved at the trade deadline, because I definitely think I could get a first-round pick in return for him. Alperen Sengun just missed 2 free throws, down by 5 here to the Rockets, looking to pick up our first win of the season. Let's see if we're able to beat the allegations here in 2K25. Jabari Smith Jr. pull-up. That is good right in the face of Jeremy Sohan. 22 draft class on 2022 draft class crime. Chris Paul is going to get to the rim with ease with the left hand, and one for the point guard himself. And Chris Paul is going to complete the 3-point play. Wemby turns it over, and Fred VanVleet is going to get to the rim, and he's going to lay it in to put them up by 9. Jalen Green's going to go right at Wemby. That is no good. Wemby with good rim protection there. We'll see what Jeremy Sohan can do in the full court. And Wemby turns it over again by Fred VanVleet. That is not a good sign, and VanVleet is going to lay it in to put them up by 11. That is the one part of Wemby's game that he definitely needs to work on, is cutting down the turnovers. And that's going to be a block for Wemby. Wemby's going to get that in. All right, we're trying to come back right now, down by 9, but unfortunately, we're not beating the allegations to start off 2K25. But what's nice for the San Antonio Spurs, they have all these draft picks. We have a Hornets lottery protected pick this year from the DeJounte Murray trade. We have a Bulls top 10 protected pick this year from the DeMar DeRozan sign-in trade. We have this Hawks first round pick also from the Murray trade, and we also own our first round pick. So if we're bad, that's okay. And there's a chance we could have cap space as well. The Spurs are in a good position, even if this is also a down year. The first NBA Cup game was great for us. We just beat the LA Lakers 124-111. Wemby had 34 points and 10 rebounds in this game. Anthony Davis had 17, 12, and 5. All right, we're staying alive in the NBA Cup. Make that 2-0 in the NBA Cup. We upset the Oklahoma City Thunder by 15 points. Wemby and Devin Vassell combined for 52. Shea had 29 in this game, but we just got it done. And we're 12-5 on the season. We're doing actually pretty well for this team right now. Let's see if we can beat the Jazz on the road to be 3-0 in the NBA Cup. Maybe take home the NBA Cup championship in the 2025 season. And it's looking like that we're going to beat them by double digits. We are blowing out these teams in the NBA Cup. Wemby had 19, 12, 3, and 5. And we're going to stay undefeated. Tough test here, though, against the Phoenix Suns in our 4th game in the NBA Cup. This is definitely looking like the most competitive one so far. Up by 6 with 7.5 to go as we are trying to hold off the Suns. We're up by 9. Oh my God, we're blowing it. Oh my God, we're going to stay alive, and we stay undefeated. We win 121-118. Devin Vassell, breakout game here, 37 points. on the national stage. And if you look at the NBA Cup standings, 4-0 in our group. That is great. So now we're in the NBA Cup tournament. We're taking on the LA Clippers in the first leg, and the Clippers are no match for us. We are going to blow them out 114-81. Wemby had 20 rebounds and 5 blocks in this game. And now it's a battle of Texas here in the semifinals of the NBA Cup. Let's see if we can advance to the finals. We have yet to lose an NBA Cup game, and we are dominating these teams. We almost blew it in the fourth quarter there, but we win 86-96. Kyrie Irving and Luka combined for 49, not enough, because we got Wemby 29 and 13 in this one. And we're going up against the New York Knicks here in the NBA Cup finale. Let's see if we can just continue this historic run for us in the NBA Cup. No team has gone undefeated in the NBA Cup's very long historic history. Let's see. We're blowing it here in the fourth quarter. Down by 3, a minute 52 left. Let's watch this go down. Can we win this game and come back down to win the 2025 Cup? As Chris Paul turns it over. Josh Hart has an open man, his Nova teammate Mikal Bridges, and they go up by 5. Paul, get it to Wemby. He's guarded by Josh Hart. Come on, Wemby. You got to score over Hart with the left hand. That is good. Back to a 3-point game. Jalen Brunson trying to go right at Chris Paul. Now Hart in the post going up against Wemby. This is going to be an easy block for Wemby if Hart actually tries to shoot it. He's going to pass it out to Mikal Bridges. You got 8 seconds on the shot clock. Brunson guarded by Chris Paul. Brunson with the step back, and it's good. Brunson with a clutch step back jumper puts him up by 5. We just got to feed Wemby. Oh my God, Chris Paul, you're killing me. Oh, that's lucky. Chris Paul does the same thing. It almost gets turned over, but Wemby hits the layup, down by 3. And Jalen Brunson goes right at Chris Paul, left hand. He's going to the line. And the Knicks fans here in Vegas are chanting MVP for Jalen Brunson at the line. He hits the first one. And Brunson goes 2 for 2, puts us down by 5. It's not looking good. Devin Vassell going right at DiVincenzo with the right hand. That is no good. And it's looking like the Knicks are going to win this year's NBA Cup. Chris Paul misses the 3, and the New York Knicks are your NBA Cup champions here. But hey, this is definitely good experience for our young team playing on a national stage here in Vegas, as Tyler Kolek is holding up the trophy. I'm sure he did a lot. Even though we did lose in the NBA Cup, we're the 2 seed in the Western Conference. We are 20-6 this season. Wemby is averaging 26 points and 13 rebounds a night in year number 2. He could win MVP. Devin Vassell is averaging 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, but he's shooting 33% from 3. Malachi Branham has been very good for us off the bench, though. Not too excited about Harrison Barnes on this team, and unfortunately, he's under contract for the next few years. Because if we look at people that are under contract next year, Vassell is making a decent amount of money. Barnes and Zach Collins and Keldon Johnson combined for basically $55 million. Hurts to see. And we are here at the 2025 trade deadline. I thought I was going to trade Chris Paul and be a full seller. Let's try to get Chris Paul a ring, because Wemby is accelerating to being one of the top players in the NBA. We're currently the 5 seed right now. We have a 5.1 point differential, so I don't think we're frauds. Wemby is 4th in MVP voting this season. Stephon Castle is 4th in Rookie of the Year voting, but this is definitely not the greatest rookie season ever, but it's nice to see that free throw percentage be pretty solid. Oh, and Wemby's gonna win Defensive Player of the Year, it seems like. And he's also 2nd in Most Improved. This is the year of Wemby. So it is gonna be tough to make some moves. Now, we do have some draft picks, which is nice, and we do have actually some tradable contracts, so we're gonna see who's on the trade block. Maybe it's not gonna be as hard as I think it is, as Karl-Anthony Towns is somehow on the trade block, and the Timberwolves are 34-17. All right, 2K, we haven't really fixed that. If you're contending, why are you putting your second best player on the trade block? For some reason, Tyrese Maxey and Paul George are also both on the trade block. It would make more sense if Giannis was on the trade block if the Bucks were 19-31, then Maxey be on the trade block with their current record. Oh my God, the Utah Jazz are 8-42. Jordan Clarkson's on the trade block, but I don't really think he's somebody we need to add with that play type. So the Nets have been very bad this season. They also traded for Miles Bridges. I want to see if I can pick up Cam Johnson for them. 3 years, $68 million remaining on that contract, but I think I'd be able to get rid of Harrison Barnes, who's kind of been a negative player for us this season. I'm going to also see if they would take away Zach Collins for me as well. I'm a big fan of Day'Ron Sharpe, and since they re-signed Nick Claxton, we can maybe pick him up. It is cool this year. You could see where your originally owned picks have gone out to, but what's not as cool is it won't let me make this pick lottery protected, but I'm going to trade away my first round pick this year. We do have some other first round picks, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to pick up Cam Johnson and Day'Ron Sharpe for Zach Collins and Harrison Barnes. I think that makes us better in the aggregate, and the Nets are going to accept that deal. So the updated bench is going going to be Cam Johnson, and then you got Daron Sharp as the 10th man, and I think Cam Johnson could be a great floor spacing power forward next to Wemby if Jeremy Sochan tends to be a little bit inefficient in the playoffs. We could also work out a pre-end of like the team option rookie deal for Malachi Branham, like extension-wise. 3 years, $17 million per year seems a little rich, so I think I'm going to wait on that. Other deals around the league, Johnny Furphy was traded for Tyus Jones, Tyler Kolek for Danilo Gallinari, KCP for Tim Hardaway Jr., Miles Bridges for Ben Simmons, basically, Rui Hashimura for Steven Adams, Mitchell Robinson was traded for Mo Wagner, Grant Williams for Spencer Dinwiddie, Jeremy Grant for Clint Capella, and Malik Monk for Draymond Green. Draymond and Sabonis are teammates now. And Luka Doncic wins the MVP award, the first of his career, 34 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. He averaged a triple-double, and it wasn't like a rush triple-double. He did it on elite efficiency, 52% from the field, 46% from three, and 83 from the line. Okay. Zachary Risache takes home Rookie of the Year, the #1 overall pick. Did not have a great efficient season. Amen Thompson wins Sixth Man of the Year in Houston. Wemby takes home Depoy, the first of his career. Amen Thompson also took home Most Improved Player. Shea, Clutch Player of the Year, and Jason Kidd, Coach of the Year. But in year number 2, Victor Wembanyama is on All-NBA first team with some of the best players in the NBA like Giannis, Jokic, Shea, and Luka. You could say are the top 4 players in the NBA. Shout out to LaMelo Ball making All-NBA second team now that he's fully healthy. Jalen Brunson on All-NBA third team. He put up 29 points this season. He's at 95 overall. And we got Stephon Castle on All-Rookie first team. We finished the year as the 4th seed. We're going to be going up against the Golden State Warriors in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. They did trade away Draymond Green for Malik Monk, so they're going to hope to replace Clay's three-point shooting with Malik Monk's now, and they still have Buddy Hield and DeAnthony Melton, some of their most recent offseason pickups. In the play-in tournament, you have Memphis and Denver. Would probably be disappointing seasons for both those teams, and Phoenix and LA. Probably a disappointing season for Phoenix. And then over in the East play-in, you have Miami and Toronto, and Boston and Charlotte. Let's see who makes it to the playoffs, as it's going to be Toronto making it as an 8 seed, Miami as a 7 seed, and then you have LA as the 8 seed, and Memphis as a 7 seed. So Denver and Phoenix miss out on the playoffs. Wemby averaged 25 points and 12.5 rebounds this year, 3.5 assists as well. An unreal year, 3.3 blocks. Devin Vassell, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. We have 2 Johnsons on the team, and Keldon and Cam. And Keldon Johnson, 37% from 3. That is definitely encouraging. Still just 25 years old. And Chris Paul in the final year of his career, 6 points, 6.7 assists. Yeah, it's definitely the final year of his career. So for the playoffs, as much as I do like Stephon Castle, he's not going to be in the playoff rotation. And we're going to play Wemby about 38 minutes a night. We're going to play Vassell 35 minutes a night, and we're going to give some more to Keldon Johnson and Chris Paul. And here we go, game 1 at home against the Golden State Warriors. How funny would it be if the Spurs just win it all in year number 1 now with Wemby, and he's just that good in 2K. But we're going to get humbled a little bit. We are going to get blown out at home by 19 points. I'm dumb, I can't do math. 29 points. Even worse, Wemby had 27, 13, and 5, as well as 5 blocks in 43 minutes. Curry and Monk combined for 42. But we are going to win game number 2, 130-112. We split this first 2 games. Wemby just dropped 50 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks here in game number 2. But we are going to get blown out in game number 3 in Golden State, unfortunately, 120-95. Wemby still had 30 and 11. Not the greatest shooting game, but he had 13 stocks. 6 steals, 7 blocks in this one. What a fourth quarter comeback right now in game number 4. We need to take this one. Curry pulls up. All right. Tie game. Malik Monk for 3, please. No. Okay, that is a huge miss. We're going to get the rebound. Come on. The Wemby and Chris Paul pick and roll has to be working here. Chris Paul, go to the rim, find Wemby. Not really much of a roll there, but Wemby is going to slam that. He's got 21 and 14. Back up by 2. Curry, no way from that team. Oh my God, Curry puts them up by 1. Malachi Branham off some screens. We got him in the air. Malachi, I need you to hit this, please. Oh, beautiful shot from Malachi Branham. Leaving me speechless out here, up by 1. Curry, no way. You're getting that over Wemby. You're going to get blocked. Oh, no. They get the board. Podziemski for 3. That is no good. Wemby with this 15th rebound. Wemby and Vassell working the pick and roll. Find Wemby. Wemby, no. Why are you backtracking? Oh, my God. We got 4 seconds on the shot clock. Wemby, I need this. I need this so badly. Wemby, come on. Give it to me. No good. 8 seconds left. They're not going to call timeout. Who are they going to go to? Podziemski, or they're going to try to get the ball to Curry? They should. Oh, no. Podziemski driving. That is a bad shot. And the Spurs are going to steal game 4 to tie this series up 2-2. Huge game from Keldon Johnson, though. He had 29 points. But unfortunately, we're going to get blown out in game number 5. We ended up losing by 13. We had slightly better fourth quarter than the other ones. Wemby had 32. In the first 5 games, he's averaging 32 points and 11 rebounds. Backs against the wall. Game 6, down 3 games to 2 in Golden State. We have a great first half, a good first 3 quarters, and it's looking like we're going to a Game 7, baby. Game 7 against the Warriors. Can we win this at home and get a playoff series victory in the 2025 season? This could be Chris Paul's last game ever, but luckily it's not going to be. We end up winning this series in 7 games. Wemby with 46 points in game number 7 gets it done, and we're going to advance to round number 2 to take on the LA Clippers, who pulled off the 8-seeded upset. Oh my God, led by Kevin Porter Jr. There's a real chance we could make it to the conference finals this year. I don't think I'm going to mess up the rotation at all. Wemby, you are just an unreal player in round number 1. Round number 2 against the Clippers. Can we beat them? This wouldn't be an upset. We have home court in this series. We have a good first quarter, not as good in the second, good third quarter. It's a close one. Oh my God, we win 103-102. Wemby and Vassell combined for 41 points. Day'Ron Sharpe with a double-double off the bench, and we advance to game number 2, up 1-0. And we're going to take game 2 as well, 93-89, a great defensive game by us. We're up 2-0. And it's looking like it's going to be a blowout in game number 3 in the new LA Clippers Stadium, 115-90. Wemby with 32 and 17, 10 stocks in this one. We're up 3-0. And we blow them out in LA. We swept the LA Clippers. Wemby with 36 and 7. Chris Paul against his former team, 17 points and 6 assists. Chris Paul is going to be playing in 1 more conference finals in his career. And over in the Eastern Conference Finals, you have the Knicks, who beat the Bulls in 7, and you have the Cavs, who beat the Pacers in 6. So we're taking on Minnesota. Definitely the best team that we have faced so far in the playoffs. Oh, and it's also a team that hasn't lost a game in the playoffs. It's going to be a close game number 1. We're down by 3 with 2 minutes to go. Can we steal game number 1 in Minnesota? Oh my God, we go to overtime, but we get outscored by 12 in OT. Oh, Wemby had 45 and 18 in this one, but Ant had 47. Game number 2 is also going to be a close one, and we are going to go to overtime again. Oh my God, but we lose by 1. No, the first 2 games in Minnesota were in OT. Chris Paul was great. Wemby almost had a triple-double. Keldon Johnson had 34, but Ant put up 62. All right, we need to take game number 3. Oh my God, and we blow it in the 4th quarter. We lose 105-102. Oh my God, Wemby had 44 and 21. We are down 3-0, but all 3 of those games were so winnable for us. We could be up 3-0 right now. Just don't get swept. We are blowing them out here in game number 4. All right, we ended up winning by 8. Game number 5, must win right here. We're up by 1. It's going to be another close one. We're up by 2. Oh my God, we blew it. We're down by 2. We're tied. 2.5 minutes to go. Don't blow this. Please do not go to overtime again. Our defense is holding strong, but our offense can't score. We're up by 5. All right, 3-2. Let's do this, man. Game 6 in San Antonio. This is an insane conference finals run right here, but we're down by 19 here in the first half. Going into the second half, down by 19. Can we come back? Not as good as the third quarter as we needed. We're down by 22. It's not looking good. We need to have a historic 4th quarter, but we end up getting blown out, and our 2025 season has concluded, and Chris Paul's career is over. You have a Timberwolves Cavs finals here. Both these teams made major trades with the Utah Jazz in the 2022 offseason, and the Timberwolves swept every series outside of the series with us, and Anthony Edwards takes home finals MVP. And player retirements, there goes Chris Paul. What a career. Him and Russell Westbrook are heading to the Hall of Fame. Chris Paul did get his jersey retired by the LA Clippers. So that Hornets pick is top 10 protected. So if it is actually at 11, we get a nice pick there. That pick was actually lottery protected. So we may not even get a lottery pick in the 2025 lottery. And that is going to be the case. We do own Chicago's pick at 22. Of course, they were good this year. We own Atlanta's pick at 23. And I gave Brooklyn my pick at 26. So not the greatest draft pick situation here in the 2025 draft. No Cooper Flag for us. Greg Popovich, though, is going to stay around here now in 2K25. You just have limited coaching spots, but I kind of like this better. We're not going to make any trades yet. I want to see who's in free agency before I try to shed cap. The Utah Jazz with the #1 overall pick. They get Cooper Flag. All right, I didn't really love anybody on the board, so I'm going to move my 2 first-round picks in this draft to the Oklahoma City Thunder for some future first-round picks. Swap best next year, which looks like a great pick between the Clippers and the Rockets, and I get Denver's top 5 protected pick in 2027. So we're going to pick up the team option on all 4 of these players: Wemby, Sohan, Branham, and Wesley. Day'Ron Sharpe will be getting the qualifying offer from me. And finally, 2K updated this photo. It's no longer Kawhi Leonard here in Moratorium. For some reason, it's Jason Kidd, but they didn't update the 2K Hoop Summit. It's been Cole Anthony basically every year. So LeBron James is a free agent, so is Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, Jamal Murray, Chris Middleton, Alperen Şengün. Jamal Murray would actually be an interesting replacement to Chris Paul here. And we have the cap space to sign him. Right now, he does have 7 offers. For some reason, it doesn't sort it by interest. The Nuggets have given him a 5-year deal, which I can't offer. I can give him a 4-year deal with a player option and a no trade clause, which is also at 100 interest as well. I'm not sure if that means we're going to get him. And if I don't get him, I may pivot to Fred VanVleet, because this team can clearly contend going forward. I mean, getting LeBron would be kind of cool as well. Unfortunately, I do not have the cap space to sign LeBron. Oh my God, we got Jamal Murray. All right, I mean, there was a contract offer to Murray, it feels like a couple months ago in real life, and he turned it down, or at least it hasn't been agreed on yet. So maybe there's a chance Murray can leave in free agency in a year from now, and we're going to basically have to renounce the rights on Trey Jones, Charles Bassey, unfortunately Day'Ron Sharpe, but I'm going to be picking up Jamal Murray to be the number 2 to Wemby here in San Antonio. Oh, I could still bring back Trey Jones, uses my mid-level exception. Let's do that. A 3-year deal worth around $27 million, and he's going to agree to that. And we do need a backup center to Wemby. Unfortunately, I won't be able to afford Day'Ron Sharpe, but I could afford veteran Steven Adams, who I just need to play like 14 minutes a night, and Steven Adams is going to agree to that. Player progression, Wemby's up to a 95 overall. Jamal Murray regresses. Okay, that is interesting to see. Vassell goes up, same with Sohan, Johnson, Castle, and Branham. So what's new also in NBA 2K25 is the FIBA World Cup. There's FIBA qualifiers now, so you could play as Team USA going up against Canada, which don't worry, we will definitely play a lot of that here in the 2K25 cycle. All right, James Harden is retiring at the end of the year. He's not on our team, but I guess that comes up for everybody that wants to do a farewell tour. And this is going to be the 2026 rotation with Jamal Murray, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama, with Cam Johnson, Malachi Branham, Stephon Castle, Trey Jones, and Steven Adams off the bench. We start off the season in a Western Conference semifinals rematch against the Clippers, but we lose 116-111. I do wonder how the backcourt defensively is going to look like with Devin Vassell and Jamal Murray. It could get interesting. Jamal Murray, a stinker in game number 2. And maybe we did downgrade from Jamal Murray to Victor, and maybe we did downgrade from Chris Paul to Jamal Murray. We're currently 28-21 at the trade deadline, but we do have a 9.9 point differential, so maybe not, because I think we had around like a 5.1 at this time last year. Sacramento Kings are 40-13 in the Western Conference. Yeah, with Clint Capella and Draymond Green on their roster. Wemby, 24.5 points and 14 rebounds. Jamal Murray with 18, 4, and 4.5, but he's doing it on good efficiency this year, shooting 51, 41, 95 splits is great. And there's now relationship kind of numbers that you can look at right now, so you can see what his game performance is, team success. These will definitely be interesting to look at when you're controlling like the Detroit Pistons or a bad team going forward like the Brooklyn Nets. Keldon Johnson, though, has not been good this year. He has not been. And I'm trying to win a title this year. And I want to see if I can move Keldon Johnson, Cam Johnson, Blake Wesley, and a future first-round pick for Karl Anthony Towns, who's been on the trade block again by the Minnesota Timberwolves. But they say no to that. If I throw in that future Nuggets pick as well, they say no to that. So I'd have to throw in 3 first-rounders or just 1 second, and that makes it work. All right, we just traded for Karl Anthony Towns at the 2026 trade deadline. And for defensive purposes, Stephon Castle is going to be in the starting lineup. Jeremy Sohan's efficiency hasn't been the best this year. He's going to go to the bench in kind of like a point forward role. And I know it didn't work out entirely with Cat and Gobert in Minnesota, it seems like, since they wanted to move Cat, but Wemby can space the floor, unlike Gobert. So this is going to be a lot of fun, I think, with the Karl Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama frontcourt this season. And let's see how this team performs in the second half with our new addition at the power forward spot. I think I needed another legit scoring option in the playoffs. And now we have 4 with Wemby, Murray, Vassell, and now Cat. Also, we could do an extension for Victor Wembanyama. It's a no-brainer. We got to keep him locked up for as long as possible. So it looks like in 2K25, you could do those rookie extensions while they're in their 3rd year of their rookie contract, but when they're in their final one, you can't. And Luka goes back-to-back with MVP awards. Cooper Flagg ends up winning Rookie of the Year with the Utah Jazz. Anthony Simon, 6th Man of the Year, and Wemby goes back-to-back in Defensive Player of the Years. Shout out to Julian Strawther winning Most Improved with Jamal Murray no longer there. That's pretty cool. I think he's gonna have a big year in real life. And for the 2nd straight year, Victor Wembanyama on All-NBA first team. We did finish the season as the 3 seed in the Western Conference. We're going up against the 6-seeded Rockets in round number 1. You have the Warriors making it out of the play-in tournament as the 8th seed, OKC is the 7th seed, and then you have Miami as the 7th seed and Boston as an 8th seed. The Rockets are 1-9 in their last 10, as you can see in the top right there. They do have Reed Shepherd as their starting point guard, Jalen Green, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, and Şengün, with Amen Thompson, Eason, Lonzo Ball, Dylan Brooks, and Rui Hachimura off the bench. Wemby led the team in scoring with 24.5 points, then Jamal Murray at 19 points and 5 assists. I'd rather have him maybe average a little bit more assists per night. Karl Anthony Towns, 19 points, 8.5 rebounds, shot 41% from 3. Vassell, 18 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists a night, 50, 42, 87 splits for Vassell. That's great. And even Stephon Castle was a lot better in his sophomore year. Game number 1, though, Not a good result. We ended up losing by 14 at home. Wemby, wow, fouled out in 24 minutes. That hurts. But we are going to bounce back in game number 2. We're going to end up winning this one by 26 points. Jamal Murray with 28. And here we are going to win game number 3 by 20, 119-99. We're going to win game number 4 as well, 117-102. Wemby with 22, 8 and 5 in this one. He did foul out in 31 minutes, but we just won 3 unanswered. Can we make it 4 unanswered? Can we win this one in San Antonio and advance to round number 2 for the 2nd straight year? This one is definitely a little bit more competitive, but we are going to have a strong 4th quarter, win by 13, and advance to round number 2. But it is going to be a tough round number 2 matchup. It was either going to be Dallas or OKC. It ends up being Dallas, as Minnesota is in the 2nd round without Karl-Anthony Towns. Battle of Texas here. Last year, the Clippers beat and upsetted the Dallas Mavericks in round number 1, so we avoided them, but we got to beat Luka, who's arguably the best player in the NBA with the numbers he's putting up, and we are going to lose game number 1. Oh my God, we got outscored 41-29 in the 4th quarter. How is that happening? And it's not looking good here in game number 2. It's just simply not. We're going to get blown out. Damn. Oh my God, we almost came back. Oh, we outscored them 31-19. Too little, too late. We lose by 6. Jamal Murray with 34. Are we going to go down 3-0? What a great 3rd quarter to keep the season alive. We beat them 116-102. We might be right back in this. Must win game number 4. We can't go down 3-1. We're up by double digits right now. We are blowing them out. We're up by 22 points in the 4th quarter. We're not going to choke that lead. We end up winning 118-89. Wemby drops 34 points in this one. Minnesota and Sacramento also tied 2 games apiece. I don't want to go down 3-2. Someone is, though, at the end of this game. We have a great 2nd and 3rd quarter. Keep that momentum. We just won 3 games unanswered. 62 combined for Wemby and Towns. 49 from the backcourt. But we are going to get blown out in game number 6. So, like last year against Golden State, we're going to a game 7 in the playoffs. And Sacramento beat Minnesota. But we're on the road in this one. I'm scared we're going to get blown out. We're down by 7 right now. We're down by, yeah, this isn't good. We just haven't really been consistent in this game. We need a really strong 4th quarter. We're down by 11. Can we come back? Down by 12. It's now or never with this team, and it's going to be never. We end up losing by 1 point. Come on. 1 point. No, that is a heartbreaking loss. We lose in round number 2. And the Mavericks and the Hornets are in the NBA Finals. Both those teams swept their counterpart in the conference finals, and the NBA champion here in 2026, the Dallas Mavericks. They ended up going 8-0 between the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. Luka takes home MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. What a Hall of Fame class. Kevin Durant, James Harden, maybe DeMar DeRozan. 2K may not put him in. And there goes Greg Popovich. No, 37 years in the league. He retires. KD and Harden to the Hall of Fame. DeRozan gets snubbed. Draft lottery time. The 76ers ended up with the number 1 overall pick in this draft. We do have a lottery pick via the Clippers. That was the trade we made with the Thunder on draft night last year. 14th overall, not bad. We also have 20 via Charlotte. And Minnesota had a later 1st round pick via us from that Karl-Anthony Towns trade. So, Nick Nurse. The Sixers were bad. You got fired. I will offer you a deal. Joe Mazzulla, you've won an NBA title before. I will offer you a deal. Jason Kidd, I don't know if you would leave Dallas, but I'll offer you a deal. And JJ Redick, let's see if we can sign him. Love that he's in the game now as a head coach. And the only guy we got was, I guess we get JJ Redick and we get Nick Nurse. I gotta choose. Do I take JJ? Do I take JJ? Let's take JJ Redick to be the next Spurs head coach. I do believe, though, that this core together could win a title next year. The 76ers with the number 1 overall pick take somebody out of the G League Ignite. Frederick Buchanan, 73 overall at the age of 19. I'm going to go with Cole Carl here out of Northern Iowa. And I also took Norman Bennett out of England, which is kind of cool. We got Dale Stevenson and Ryan Neely in the 2nd round. We're going to pick up the team option on Julian Champagny, obviously on Stephon Castle. We got a couple big free agents we need to re-sign in Jeremy Sohan and Malachi Branham. 2026 free agency, Luka Doncic can be unrestricted. That is going to be very cool. Paolo Banchero is restricted. Fox is unrestricted. LeBron is here. Trae Young is here. We are going to renounce the rights on everybody but Sohan and Branham. And they kind of want too much money. I'm not giving them $36 million. No way. Sohan $30 million? I don't think so. 2K's hinting at me that I could afford Christian Brown. Let's see if we could do that. 3 years, $43 million. Can I poach him away from Denver, or are they going to match it? They don't match it. We just picked up Christian Brown this offseason. Let's go. And I'm going to bring back Steven Adams to be the backup to Wemby next year. And we're going to get Sohan and Branham on the qualifying offers. Branham's going to be making $6.2 million. Sohan, $9.62 million. Player progression. Wemby's up to a 96/97 overall. Murray's an 86/87. Towns 88/89. Castle's doing great right now. this team could win a title. So now in year number 2, you have the FIBA friendlies, and there's a bunch of teams you could play with. I think this is just for fun, basically. And going into year number 3, this is the LeBron James farewell tour. I'm actually going to go with our first round pick, Cole Carl, as the backup 5, just going to play 9 minutes a night. And this is going to be the starting 5, Murray, Castle, Vassell, Towns, and Wemby again, but you got Branham, Sohan, Christian Brown, and Trey Jones and Cole Carl off the bench. Since the proficiency is going to be 4-star pace and space under JJ Redick, I think this team could win a title. We did lose game 1 of the year, but Wemby dropped 40 and 15 in game number 2. All right, not sure if it's a new head coach, but what's going on with this team right now? We're 23 and 22. We've been 2 mid this year. We're currently the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and we have a negative 2.8 point differential. That is unacceptable. Wemby's averaging 22 points. I guess Cat, obviously his numbers are going to go down. Murray's been not as efficient as he was last year. Vassell's been okay. Branham has taken a step scoring wise. I don't know why this team has not been performing well. Oh, Stephon Castle can't hit a shot. I think we're going to have to make a switch into the rotation. I think Stephon Castle's going to go to the bench. Malachi Branham's going to start. And we are a game under 500 at the trade deadline. Wow, this is crazy. I don't know if it's JJ Redick, but this is unacceptable, the expectations we had this year. We're technically the 4th worst team in the Western Conference in terms of point differential. Also, Luka Doncic signed with the LA Clippers and they lost the NBA Cup. And Jeremy Sohan has turned into a really good player, but unfortunately it's tough to start him because of Karl-Anthony Towns there at the 4. But there really isn't many good trades out there, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose Jeremy Sohan. I'm not going to be able to afford him in the offseason unless we move Cat in the offseason. But if there is a disappointing end to the year, that may happen. I don't think I'm going to make a move at the deadline. I hope something changes in the second half. And Anthony Edwards ends up winning the 2027 MVP award. Wemby goes back to back with Defensive Player of the Years, but he does not make All-NBA first team. He's on All-NBA second team this year. And we finished the year as the 19th in the Western Conference. What a disappointing season. Wemby had 23 points, 11.5 rebounds. Murray had 17.5 points. Cat, 14.5 and 7. I mean, for $57 million a year, that's not really worth it at this point. I should have just inserted Sohan, developed him, because he's going to at least play better defense. He's going to facilitate and just maybe be a well-balanced player, but he's not going to be as elite of a shooter as Cat is. This is just to be in the second leg of the play-in tournament. We got to beat Memphis to advance. Oh my God, just to be the 8th seed in the playoffs. Luckily though, we are going to beat them unless we have a historic choke, but we don't. We end up winning 145-122. Cat, when I was talking bad about him, hit 18 free throws. But now we got to beat Dallas. Now they don't have Luka Doncic anymore, so we should beat them, but things are not looking good for us. What? Oh my God, if we lose in the second leg of the play-in, that'd be such a disappointing year. But luckily, we do advance. We win 122-111. Kyrie had 25 in that L. We're taking on Minnesota in the playoffs. I'm not too scared of them, but they are a good team. Wow, Rob Dillingham was amazing this year. Game number 1 against Minnesota on the road. I do think we could beat them in this series. They don't really scare me too much, and we're winning right now in the 4th quarter, and oh my God, yes, we beat them. All right, we had all those overtime losses against them last year. This year, we win 122-114. Good start. I think we can beat them. Oh my God, do we get a game? Oh my God, another overtime game. What is going on with these two teams? Wemby had 30, 20, and 8 in this one, but we lost. And we're going to blow them out in game number 3, though. That's what I'm talking about. We take a 2-1 series lead. Jamal Murray with 35 points. Can we go up 3 games to 1? It's looking good for us right now. We beat them 108-102. We're looking for that upset that we saw happen in year 1 with the Clippers being an 8 seed and beating the Dallas Mavericks, who were the 1 seed. Can we beat them on the road here to win in 5 games? I don't think so. We're getting blown out. We're having a little bit of a 4th quarter comeback. Too little, too late. We lose 106-101. Can we hold on and win this game? Oh my God, we're choking it. No, this isn't good. Oh my God, we lose. All right, this is bad. They also have Bradley Beal on that team. Oh, we're going to a game 7. We're blowing a 3-1 lead. Why does this have to happen to me? Please don't blow the 3-1 lead. Oh my God. You're going to tease me as an 8 seed, thinking I'm going to pull off the great upset here. Oh, and it's going to be a close one, isn't it? All right, come on. We're down by 2. 5 minutes to go. Please, Wemby, take over for me. Down by 7. Come on, man. Come on. I'm blowing 3-1 leads in 2K25 already. Timberwolves, Hornets in the NBA Finals. 2 best players you could say from the 2020 draft class. And the Timberwolves win in 6. They win it again, man. There goes LeBron James. He actually retired on the Miami Heat, which is pretty cool. So we did have a bunch of first-round picks. I drafted all of them. Nelson Simpson, JT Martin Jr., Lloyd Webb, and Clayton Stewart. 2 firsts and 2 seconds. We got to see if Cat opts in, and he does. I think I'm going to look to trade him, pick up the team option there on Castle. Nikola Jokic is a free agency here in year number 3. I want to see if I can move Karl-Anthony Towns to Oklahoma City for OG Anunoby. Both are on the final years of their deal. I would bring back Jeremy Sochan in this case, and we get an elite defender in OG Anunoby. I got to take on Claudio Navarro's contract as well in this deal. They're going to say no. Now, this Celtics swap best has great value for next year. I don't really want to move that this offseason. So I would move also one of the picks we just drafted, JT Martin, the center, and they would say no to that. What about if I throw in another second, 3 of them? All right, what about another one, 4 of them? Really? Lloyd Webb get it done potentially? Nope. Norman Bennett, we could also try, but unfortunately, the money issue here. I will throw in 1 first-round pick because I think OG would be a great addition. All right, I'm trying one more variation of this trade. Not going to happen. I may be stuck with Karl-Anthony Towns, honestly. And since he just has 1 year left on his deal, I can bring back Jeremy Sochan and Malachi Branham. So I'm going to get them back 4 years, $81 million, 4 years, $72 million. And then maybe I can find a cat trade at the deadline. We'll see. Nikola Jokic goes back to Denver. Wemby's at 97. Castle's an 88. Cat's an 88/89. Murray's an 85/86. So in year number 3, there is the FIBA just championship game, which is pretty cool. There's also the consolation games as well here, which is pretty cool. You got 8 different teams that you can play between. Let's see who wins it all. It is USA. They end up beating Canada 138-134. No, Steph Curry is going on a farewell tour here in year number 4. And it's going to be a 10-man rotation here in year number 4. We're actually going to start Jeremy Sochan at the 4, and Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be our 6th man in what's going to be the last year as a San Antonio Spur. At the 2028 trade deadline, we are the 2 seed in the Western Conference. We have the best point differential at 9.4, but we're only 11 games above 500. Wemby is averaging 23 points and 11 rebounds. Jamal Murray 19. Karl-Anthony Towns 16 points off the bench. Stephon Castle's efficiency has kind of been all over the place, but is having a very productive season though otherwise. And Jeremy Sochan, almost 50% from the field, 37% from 3, 83% from the line. I love that. And Luka Doncic wins another MVP award, this time for the LA Clippers. Unfortunately though, we finished as the 4th seed in the Western Conference. We're taking on Houston in round number 1. They have a 92 overall Shaedon Sharpe now. They also have a 92 overall Men Thompson off the bench. The only thing that could save me if we have a really high point differential, and we do. I don't know, man. I don't know why we were the 4th seed. I think we're better than that. Battle of Texas here. Game 1, it does go to San Antonio. 137-134. A close one. Game number 2 also went to San Antonio. 151-127. A great game from Wemby. We do go up 3-0. We win 125-109. So maybe we're a little bit better than our record suggested that we were. And we swept the Houston Rockets. But this was a close one. 127-126. Now we got to take on probably the Oklahoma City Thunder in round number 2. And they have Shea, AJ Mitchell they've developed, which is pretty cool. Asor Thompson, J-Dub, Chet, Clint Capella, Jason Wallace, Nikola Topic, a good team. Game 1 goes to San Antonio though, 135-111. Oh man, they're going to make me think that I can win the finals, 138-128. All right, 32 points for Jeremy Sochan. This guy's actually really good. I'm glad we re-signed him, and we're up 3-0. We just dropped 159 on them. Wemby with 36. Can we win game number 4? We are 8-0 in the playoffs to start things off. 43 for Wemby. How about that? And we're in the conference finals for the first time since year number 1, going up against the Denver Nuggets, who do have Jimmy Butler at 38 years old, not the player he used to be. They still have Jokic. We have Christian Brown now. Game number 1 goes to the Spurs. We are now 9-0 in the playoffs. We make that 10-0. Can we make that 11-0? Yes, we can. Can we make it 12-0? No, we can't. We do gentlemen sweep them. We go 12-1 in the Western Conference. And Wemby is averaging 30-11 in these playoff games. NBA Finals, we do get Wemby as Western Conference Finals MVP. LaMelo Eastern Conference Finals MVP, taking on the Hornets. They have a good team. Nick Smith is a great 6th man for them. Game number 1 goes to the San Antonio Spurs, 135-103, 44-14 for Wemby. Game number 2 went to Charlotte, 124-111. Brandon Miller with 41. They also have Josh Giddey there as well. Game number 3 goes to San Antonio, 135-132. Game number 4 goes to San Antonio, 143-127. And we're basically a game away from winning the 2028 NBA Finals. And starting 2K25 off on the right note, can we beat them? Up by 11 here. It's looking great for us. Jamal Murray also just looks kind of normal in a Spurs jersey. Oh, almost got the steal there. Wemby with 40, 13, and 5 here. unreal performance. 10 points for Jamal Murray, maybe getting bailed out by Wemby. Guarding LaMelo Ball, though. Can he hold his own? Not really. LaMelo gets separation, knocks down that jumper. Wemby with the right hand, that is no good. The Wemby-Jamal Murray pick and roll has to be great. Jamal Murray 3-ball, that is no good. It doesn't matter. We're going to win the NBA Finals anyway. And there it is, baby. Christian Brown holding up the trophy, gives it to Jamal Murray. Two former Nuggets, they get their second career ring. Wemby gets his first. Cat gets his first. And Victor Wembanyama takes home Finals MVP. He averaged 36 points and 12 rebounds. And that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys did enjoy my first NBA 2K25 rebuild. If you did enjoy, I would appreciate it if you drop a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which team we should rebuild next, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.